We won. We won. The New York Giants won Game 1 of the 2022-2023 season, 21-20 against the Tennessee Titans. I can't believe it. I don't know what to do. Is this what winning feels like? Because I haven't felt it since I was in high school or even elementary school or middle. I haven't felt it in years. Years, I tell you. And it feels so good. So good. Whew. But it did not feel that way the entire game. No, sir. Because it started off rough. It started off rough as the Giants were down 13-0 at half, left scoreless. Danny Dimes had a fumble recovered. Wasn't really his fault as I think it was Simmons on the Titans really came through and the interior line and knocked the ball out in 2 seconds. But offense couldn't really move. Defense was keeping us in the game, but it just felt like one of those games where it was close, but the Tennessee was just a play away or a drive away from putting you out of your misery. But what I will say at half was the fact that you were also one play away from being back in this. And the fact that you had some life still. You had some life, in the second drive, you got to you went from the 25 to the 41. Saquon didn't look bad the first half. He looked like he was making some decent plays, was making good, decent runs. The play before the fumble, you were driving. You got down, started at the 25, you got down to the Tennessee 42. So you were in their territory. You were about to get into field goal range before Daniel Jones fumbled, of course. And at the end of the half, you got to the halfway line. But it was a rough first half. It was really a rough, Daniel Jones was completing the passes he was supposed to, but the fumble killed it. We couldn't really execute on third down, whether it be our just wide receivers not getting open, not getting enough time. I mean, Daniel Jones in this game was, let's see, do I have how much he was sacked? He was sacked 5 times. Sacked 5 times. That's a lot. That is a lot. So, and we could talk about this O-line, but let's get to the second half first. Because it starts out, second half, the Titans get the ball. And that's why I was a bit concerned. Because if they go down the field this game and they score, even if they kick a field goal, this game kind of feels over to me. Just because it wasn't really they would have contained momentum. It wasn't the touchdown was the part. It was the fact that they were able to go down on our defense and put up points to start the half, and that would have really oh my god, I just keeps moving. But it would have just sucked the momentum out of new half, you can change. Let's go in the right direction. New mindset. And they walk down the field. Even if they score a field goal. But touchdown would have been way worse. But they go 3 and out. Defense is all right, offense. New half. New you. Brian Dable. Bring the heat. Let's go. As they hold Henry to 2 runs. And then, Henry fumbles on the third down. He recovers it. But that ends it. And then, oh man, there goes that man, Saquon Barkley, baby. He breaks a big one out for 68 yards on the first play of the drive. They started at their 10, and they drive down all the way, 68 yards. Then you got Breida for a 9-yard gain. Then Matt Breida with another 4-yard run, and then first and goal at the 4, and it's Saquon who runs it in for the touchdown. And that's really shows you, how much Saquon was back this game. It was just a whole different Saquon. This is the Saquon you've wanted to see. This is the top 5 back in the league. Saquon. He could be, honestly, he could be a 2,000-yard, total yards kind of guy. I saw Max Kellerman said he thinks he'll get 2,500 yards, and I don't think that's crazy. I think that'd be very difficult, but I don't think that's that crazy even. He had 190 something. He had 190 plus yards this game total. He had 164, I believe, rushing yards this game. And a touchdown. Averaged 9.1 yards per carry. And it wasn't just that we saw the old Saquon. Because, oh my God, it got me going. I was with my friends, and you see me, and I'm this obnoxious Giants fan just going ape shit as long as Barkley was running. Oh my God, I was obnoxious because I was pretty miserable in the first half. But Saquon had that bounce, he had that drive, he had the jukes. But what he didn't have his rookie year, which he seems to have now, is when he knows when to put his freaking head down and go and just head north. He's gonna put his shoulder down, lay you out, because he got the strength to do that, and he's gonna get those extra 2 to 3 yards instead of trying to juke the dude out, lose a couple yards. He's starting to get when to juke and when to go, when to make the move, and then when to just dive forward and get what you got. It showed, and what it showed the most in Saquon Barkley was a 2-point conversion. Giants, final drive, they score to tie the game basically with less than a minute to go. And Dable says, because Brian Dable, we'll get to him in a sec on that 2-point play call, but Saquon gets the shovel pass, and he got 2 guys in front of him. It should have been stopped. He jukes them out, and then what does he do? He puts his fucking head down, and he fucking gets into the end zone like you're goddamn supposed to do. He says, I'm not gonna be denied. And he wasn't. And that is what I want to see from him. Both angles. I want to see the jukes. I want to see the shiftiness, the elusiveness that he's always had in his career. And then I want to see when he just puts his feet in the sand, he puts his head down and says, I'm running you over. You can't stop me. Looking like some Derrick Henry on the other side. Speaking of Derrick Henry, this defense was fantastic against Derrick Henry. I called for it in the preview. You can watch it. It's on the YouTube channel. I said, you are not going to stop this guy. He is King Henry for a reason. But you can contain him. Make sure his yards per carry doesn't get ridiculous. Make sure he doesn't have one of those long yards. He goes 21 carries, 82 yards, 3.9 yards per carry. That's a little much. But his long was 18 yards. He didn't have any big plays. Wasn't really a game changer when he needed to be. He played okay, but the Giants' defense really held him in check. And Tannehill had a nice day against us. I rip Tannehill all the time. He had a nice day against us. He went 20 of 33, 266 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I will say, our secondary was hit or miss today. I thought the way Kyle Phillips and Dontrell Hilliard kind of tore us up a bit in the secondary was not the greatest. That worries me a bit, how that will go. But I thought our run defense was at the best. That's what I asked for. I couldn't have asked for anything more because that they did what they needed to do in the run. And in the pass, it wasn't great, but they got the job done. And giving up 20 points, only 13 points at half. They only gave up 1 touchdown in the entire second half. That's how you close out a game. That is how you close out a game. Goddamn right. Going specific, let's go. So we talked about the first touchdown with Saquon Barkley. Now let's get to the passing game. Daniel Jones, listen, he played good. And some people will be like, what? He played good? That interception was awful. And you're goddamn right. That interception was atrocious. It was terrible. And guess what? Brian Dable ripped him a new one, told him, don't be doing that shit you're on my team. Think about it. Now go out there and do something better. Go win this game. He didn't just say you're crap, you're terrible. Just don't even play football. And he ripped him, but he also gave him the opportunity to make it up with the 2-point conversion and say, hey, go down and win me this game because I know you can. And Brian Dable really changed the culture of this team. I know I just said I talked about Daniel Jones, but Brian Dable, you could see the culture change. I mean, The dancing after the locker room. The balls on this guy. He carrying around the wheelbarrow like a Buffalo Soldier in the heart of America. Like South Park Randy. Because that's what he got balls big as my room right now. As big as my head. Going for that 2-point conversion. He proves, I want to be aggressive. He tells his team, I'm going to be aggressive this year. And what does he do on the first real chance he has to say, I believe in you guys. I'm a man of my word. He says it. He looked at Saquon, and Saquon said he just gave him that look. And Saquon knew the play. He knew it was coming in. And he said, F yeah, let's go do it. And they did it. So I'm already a huge believer in Brian Daboll. The players are a huge believer in Brian Daboll. This is a huge culture change, and it is something we haven't had in a long time in the New York Giants team history, since probably Coughlin, to be honest. It's been that long. And Coughlin the last couple of years was a little shaky, even though I love Tom Coughlin. But it's been a while since we've had a coach that really is this liked so early. Daniel Jones, like I just said, had a good game. Interception was awful. He comes back and leads you down the field. Made a great play on 4th down to extend the drive on a run. On the play action, made an easy pitch and catch. And just overall through the game, had a nice game. Besides the interception, he played a solid game, 17 of 21, 188 yards and 2 touchdowns. Had the deep shot to Sterling Shepard, which... great to see Sterling Shepard back. He only got 2 receptions, but 71 yards total, 1 touchdown, had the 65-yarder, and then he had another 6-yard catch, 4 targets. To see guys like Saquon and Sterling on this team when it's winning means so much, because they both, like Saquon said, they've both been through a lot. I love Sterling Shepard. He's been here. He's the longest tenured Giant. He's been through so much. I just think he's such a, when he is healthy, he's such a reliable, just sturdy slot receiver who's going to be there when you need him the most. He's going to make plays. I love Sterling Shepard. And to see that was great. Daniel Jones found him. He really just was kind of a game manager. He was a better game. He was a very good game manager. He didn't go he made out of his way to make a couple plays, like the 4th down. That wasn't a game manager type play. The big shot was not a game manager type play. So he played the game manager when he needed most of the game, but when he needed to, he stepped up and made the big plays that you need your quarterback to make. Now, I will say the interception was pitiful, like I said before, but that's why if he didn't throw that interception, I'd say Daniel Jones had a fantastic game. But he had a very good game. Listen, 1 interception, 1 mistake, and he bounces back from it. That's a bigger point. That's the point that should be made. Yeah, he made a crappy mistake. Yeah, people are going to make mistakes. But he bounces back from it and leads his team down the field to score the touchdown that you needed to win this freaking game. So, I could not be more ecstatic. I told you I just wanted a game. I wanted to be competitive. I wanted to be invested in the 4th quarter. And I wasn't sure that was going to be it at half. But Giants turn it around and really get this going. I guess... next week, we'll preview later in the week. The Giants got the Carolina Panthers coming up. Hopefully, that looks pretty good. The only concerns really coming out of this game, like I said, quickly, we'll go over the concerns. Not too many, but pass defense a little bit shaky. We knew it was going to be a bit shaky, but it was. What's with Kadarius Toney? He only was in for, I think, 7 plays. Got to get him involved more. When he was playing, he looked great. He looked great while he was out there. And then this O-line, I didn't talk about this O-line yet, so we're going to talk about it for a bit. The O-line, running-wise, was fantastic. Run block. Gave Saquon Barkley a lot of space, a lot of holes. Was able to do his thing. You got great push from the line of the line of scrimmage. Really, that line, the trenches line between the O-line and the D-line was really pushed very well by this Giants offensive line. Passing-wise, pass protection was not that great. I will say Andrew Thomas was fantastic. He was the highest-rated PFF tackle, I believe, for Week 1. Oh, Andrew Thomas, bust after 1 year. Wrong. This guy is going to be a top tackle in this league. He is fantastic. I can't say this for a fact, but I was looking at some Evan Neal numbers. I didn't think he gave up a sack, so I thought he looked okay. He had a couple really pretty good mauler plays. If you look at the fumble, I know obviously when he got strip sacked, that was a great play by Evan Neal. Obviously, he got sacked from the other side. It's not Evan Neal's fault. But that was a play that highlighted Evan Neal, which is kind of funny. But it's the interior that I need to see more from. Glukowski, Feliciano, Joshua Zudu had played a little bit. He looked good at sometimes, pretty not so good at sometimes. So it's the interior of this line I'm worried about. That's what we thought might struggle coming into this year. You thought the tackles were going to be secure. You had the two big boys on the outside with Thomas and Neal. Both of those top picks. Pretty confident that you kind of secured the outside. Now it's just making sure the inside can fill, because that's more relying on other people, switching guys off. It's the D tackles. So that's a bit different than the outside, but that's got to get going. And if you can get some pass protection, Daniel Jones can have more time. Something that strip sack won't happen. Hopefully he learns from that INT. I'm starting to get a little more optimistic about this Giants, because this is a good Titans team. I don't know if this is a playoff team, but this is a 7-8. This is a good Titans team. They were the number 1 seed last year. This is a good team. This is not a game you're supposed to win, and you steal a game like that, your confidence goes through the freaking roof. Through the roof! So, a lot of good things coming from this game. Giants 1-0 for the first time since 2016. That was the last time they made the playoffs. We got Carolina next week. I will preview that game in the next coming days. You can hear all about what I think. But, what a start to the season. What a start to the season. Let me know your thoughts on Twitter, in the comments, about your New York Football Giants. What you think of the game? What you think of Daniel Jones, the defense? Brian Dable, does he have the biggest balls on the planet? You tell me, because I think he does. Let me know about the rest of the NFL, what you thought. How crazy some of these overtime games were. Joe Burrow, what a crappy first half, then the comeback, and then the lose in overtime after they can't kick field goals. The Cowboys, are they done? You let me know all of that. Let me know your opinion just about week 1 in the NFL and about the Giants in the description, in the Twitter. My Twitter will be in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the other side.